The murder trial for Abby Michaels wrapped up this afternoon after 4 days of testimony. She's the person accused of killing 3 members of a Mason family. After the prosecution says she intentionally drove the wrong way down the interstate. Ken Brown's been in the courtroom all week and has the very latest.
Abby Michaels' trial lasted 4 days. 4 days for a case 4 years in the making, as prosecutors seek justice for 3 members of an innocent Mason family that lost their lives on St. Patrick's Day 2019.
She just kind of like flung it off and kind of marched on down the street.
That's when she told me that she was going to drive backwards. Goodbye, I love you, I'm dying now.
She didn't murder anybody. Miss Michaels knowingly drove her vehicle into oncoming traffic to cause serious physical harm. That deadly weapon and that serious physical harm caused the deaths of the Thompson family.
In the murder trial for the now 25-year-old Abby Michaels, you won't find a single seat in the jury box that was occupied. That's because this is a bench trial, which means that Judge Stephen Dankoff is the one that gets to decide the verdict. And he's listened all week as the prosecution presented their case based on the premise that the soon-to-be divorced Abby Michaels was suicidal. They allege she intentionally drove her vehicle through the only emergency turnaround for miles along Interstate 75 and purposefully plowed that vehicle into oncoming traffic.
She called her now ex-husband Kyle, and during that phone call she told him that she was suicidal.
She was driving at the time, and that's when she told me that she was going to drive backwards on 75.
She made those text messages to Kyle. Goodbye, I love you, I'm dying now at 8 p.m. That was 2.5 minutes before the collision. She can't be doing all the things she is doing on March 17, 2019, as she is driving from the northbound to the southbound lanes and having a seizure. Hold her accountable for them, accountable for her actions in causing the deaths of Karen Thompson, Timmy Thompson, and Tessa Thompson, and find her guilty as charged.
On the other side of this, the defense used their lone witness to build a case around a possible medical issue causing the crash. Abby Michaels' past issues with seizures became the focal point of their case, and the reason that they believe she was not in control of her vehicle when it went through the emergency turnaround and into oncoming traffic.
We are here to decide whether or not Abby Michaels acted knowingly or whether she suffered from a seizure disorder that led to her not being in physical control. And because that has not been the narrative, that sounds shocking to people. We don't have to prove anything, but we did. They're the ones that are responsible for proving things, and all they proved was that their witnesses don't know for sure. We think it's time for the court to render the verdict that we wish the state would have listened to on behalf of everyone a long time ago, and that is that this was not a knowing act whatsoever.
So did the soon-to-be divorced and possibly suicidal Abby Michaels intentionally drive the wrong way on the interstate as the prosecution has presented? Or is the defense correct and her past medical issues resurfaced and she had a seizure behind the wheel? Regardless of what the verdict is, 3 innocent lives were lost back in 2019 when Timmy, Karen, and their daughter Tessa died in that St. Patrick's Day crash. In Montgomery County, Ken Brown, Fox 19 Now.